If you've been around the channel for a while, you know we're the kind of people that'll ride any kind of machine our dollar signs can get a hold of. I mean, we've been on the side-by-sides, sport quads, this, and even that. It is currently for sale, so don't be afraid to contact me. But the machines that hit a little close to home for me personally and little man is the two-stroke motocross bikes. More specifically, the Kawasaki KX85/KX80. Little man had an 89 model KX80, and if you sat down and talked to him, he could tell you all kinds of stories on that jewel. I had a 16 model KX100, which isn't that much different from the 85, so I'll count myself in the game. But anyway, what I thought I would do for this video is take a little trip down memory lane for the KX85. So without further ado, let's get into it. The history of the Kawasaki KX85. It all started back in 1979. Where Kawasaki first released the KX80. It was a heck of a beast back in its day, carrying an 80cc air-cooled engine producing around 15 horsepower at 11,000 RPMs. Also has a 17-inch front tire and 14-inch back tire that remains the same today. If you look, you'll notice something that you don't really see in today's dirt bikes, and that's the two rear shocks. The first edition KX80 had two gas oil shocks in the back with kind of a flimsy looking swing arm, but she had a beefier one by next year, along with fork upgrades and a slight power increase. By 81, they had replaced the dual rear shocks with a single shock, and in 83 they released the KX60. Over the next few years, liquid cooling was added, along with other power upgrades, and even a 6-speed transmission, which had a 5-speed before. Also adding a CDI system, suspension upgrades, and disc brakes front and back. In 1987, they released the Big Wheel Edition, with 16-inch back tires and 19-inch front tires, commonly seen on the KX100, which was first released in 1995. The KX80 stayed in production until 2000, and then it was replaced with today's beast in 2001. So let me introduce you to the 2001 KX85. The KX85 had an 84cc liquid-cooled two-stroke engine producing around 24 to 28 horsepower. One of the new features includes the Kawasaki Integrated Power Valve System, also known as KIPS. This controls the exhaust port height for increased horsepower and torque, also producing a broad power band with more low-end and mid-range torque. Remained pretty much the same over the years with minor decal changes until 2014. 2014 was a game changer for the KX85, including many new upgrades and changes. One change being a new piston with a single ring design, so it causes less friction in the cylinder. They also enlarged the crankshaft by 2 mm for durability. Everyone knows with great power comes more heat, which is why Kawasaki added the new radiator, increasing cooling capacity by 50%. The bike also got new carburetor jetting specs, a lower seat height, improved suspension and brakes, and many other upgrades. With some decal changes over the years, the KX85 remains unchanged today, and it still remains as one of the most popular mini motocross bikes ever. And despite my love for the 400, the KX probably remains my favorite out of all the machines I've owned. Do what? What? Yeah, I know it was a 100. Oh, come on, give me a break. They're the same thing.
And lastly, keep sending.